Hey, welcome to the Trash Picture Show. In 1989, Batman, directed by Tim Burton, hit cinemas and it was a smash hit. Starring Michael Keaton as Batman and Jack Nicholson as the Joker, it is epic, it is operatic, and it captures the essence of the classic DC character created by Bob Kane and Bill Finger. The movie has its own style, its own visual feel. It's dark and gritty and takes a lot of elements from Frank Miller's Dark Knight Returns, but also cherry picks from other elements. The rest of the cast is pretty cool as well. Vicky Vale is played by Kim Basinger and adds a love interest to Bruce Wayne. She does come across as a damsel in distress, but she is also the foil for the fantastic Jack Nicholson's Joker. They have messed around a bit with the origin of Batman and the Joker. In the original story, it was not the Joker who killed Bruce Wayne's parents, but in this they have it changed so that there is a kind of dichotomy that the Joker has created Batman, and as a result, Batman has created the Joker, an element taken from Alan Moore's The Killing Joke. This movie is amazing. I kind of feel that as a result, the Nolan movies have kind of pushed it to the side. I think that the original Batman movie had its own style, its own look, its own kind of aesthetic, and its own feel. The cast is great, the visuals are great, and the entire aesthetic of the movie is fantastic. It's easy to forget that Tim Burton's Batman was one of the flagships for what is now a major comic book scene in cinema history. I honestly think that Tim Burton's original Batman, while not perfect, is an awesome movie and well worth a look. If you can get a chance, do check it out. My other problem with the Nolan movies is they're very grounded in reality. It is definitely like a movie like Michael Mann's Heat, where Batman just turns up. They're crime dramas that just happen to have a masked vigilante. They don't feel comic book. Granted, a lot of the characters do have kind of exaggerated personas, but as a friend of mine, Anthony, pointed out, the Heath Ledger Joker, who is awesome, is merely a kind of jittery junkie. Bane is a terrorist. They aren't these fantastically over the top comic book characters. The follow up, Batman Returns, was a fantastic return to form. Keaton returns, and that aesthetic that Burton established is kept. Danny DeVito, while he does ham it up a bit, is still a formidable force, and Michelle Pfeiffer as Catwoman, aka Selina Kyle, is amazing. The chemistry between her and Keaton is electric. You can't not look at the train wreck that's going to be when these two get together. It's amazing. If you do get a chance, do check out Batman Returns. Now, The Dark Knight and The Dark Knight Rises, as I said, these movies are like heist crime movies that just happen to have Batman. There are some cool elements. Ironically, something I did enjoy that a lot of people didn't was Anne Hathaway's portrayal of Selina Kyle in this movie. I think she got Catwoman down really well, and she had a comic book air to her, while the rest of the movie was very subdued and felt more like a kind of contemporary thriller and action movie. It didn't feel really comic book. For anyone who's interested in playing any decent Batman games, I really recommend the awesome Arkham series. I think the best out of the bunch is Arkham City, and if you can, get the Game of the Year edition. Also, here's a couple of comic suggestions. If you were a fan of The Dark Knight Rises, Nightfall is cool because it introduces Bane and shows how Bane literally breaks the bat, cripples Batman, very like the Dark Knight Rises movie. Batman, The Dark Knight Returns, a lot of this kind of mid-battle and the end battle in the story was kind of extrapolated for Zack Snyder's BVS, and there are some other elements, but I think Snyder kind of failed that he didn't do his own thing. Tim Burton, while he deviated a lot from the source material, did do his own thing, and while it's not a perfect movie, it's a hell of a lot better than the kind of copy-paste that Snyder done in BVS. If you want to see a cool Batman versus Superman story, do check out The Dark Knight Returns. Batman Year One by Frank Miller. Awesome comic. It is well worth a look, and if you can, do check it out. It's very grounded. There isn't that many kind of superhero, super villainy elements in it. It's just Batman, a young Bruce Wayne, just kind of literally spreading his wings as Batman and kind of getting his feel for how he's going to patrol Gotham. It's cool. It's a very cool crime story. There was a nice animated feature made out of it. If you get a chance, do check it out. Bryan Cranston voices Commissioner Gordon. Next up, we have Batman Vampire. This for me is definitely a kind of guilty pleasure. It's essentially Batman is turned into a vampire and decides to go killer vigilante on the villains of Gotham. I have a bunch more comics that I can suggest. I would also recommend Alan Moore's The Killing Joke. There's currently an animated movie out at the moment. I would avoid it because they seem to juxtapose a kind of subplot involving Batgirl, and it really kind of over sexualizes the relationship between Batman and Batgirl. Now, that's not to say that they couldn't have a relationship, but I just don't think Bruce Wayne would allow himself that kind of connection with someone who he does care about. He wouldn't let her get that close and then allow her to be hurt. I know their explanation was it affects Batman a lot more when she is crippled by the Joker, but I don't think it was necessary. I think that the original Killing Joke story is all you need, and I think that was a flavorous addition on the DC animation department's part. So yeah, that's my view on the Batman movies. As I said before, the Nolan movies are cool, but I don't see them as comic book movies. I see them more as contemporary action crime thrillers, and Batman just happens to be in them. I do have a great love and appreciation for the Tim Burton Batman and Batman Returns, and they're flawed, but that's because they're creatures of their time. Quick note: Batman Forever. That's no. Some good elements, and Batman and Robin. Jesus Christ, bat nipples. That's all I need to say. Joel Schumacher actually officially apologized for Batman and Robin. That's how bad that movie was when the director came out and said, "I'm sorry for making that movie. You know how heinous that is." How do I feel about the future of Batman? Ben Affleck does seem to be doing a good job. I just don't think Snyder is a good person to have at the helm of the DC cinematic universe, and I think it is going to cause superhero fatigue if he keeps on turning out these lackluster movies. As I said, I enjoyed Suicide Squad. Not a perfect movie, but definitely a step up from BVS, and hopefully Wonder Woman will maybe repair some of the damage, and the franchise won't be kind of leaking legitimacy as a result of the prior movies. So, my name's Martin. This has been the Trash Picture Show. Like, subscribe, leave a comment, and if you have any thoughts on the DC Cinematic Universe, or what's your favorite DC comic book movie, or any comic book movie for that matter, leave them in the comments below. And yeah, have a good one. Take care. Bye now.